This is Katherine and Christopher Tipper of Hunter Benefits Consulting Group, and today is April 30th, and it is International Jazz Day. Clink, you want to clink?
Yes, we want to clink.
And this is our On the Couch Friday Bourbon Edition. And Christopher, who's your favorite jazz artist?
Whoever was playing in the background on the TV show Bosch.
I would say Steely Dan if it counts.
As jazz?
Kind of jazz.
Okay, all right.
So,
I wouldn't have thought of that.
okay, so Christopher.
All right, so On the Couch is our lighthearted, hopefully humorous look at all things ERISA and 401k plans. Today we're going to be talking about why 401k plans rock. Before we get too far into things, we are going to dive over to Kristina to see what's going on with, we're going to dive into a topic, and I misspoke, so thank you for pointing it out, Kristina.
You're welcome.
Do we have a Washington update today?
As a matter of fact, we do.
Okay.
I didn't think we did.
Okay.
But then suddenly they appeared.
Suddenly they appeared. Okay.
Yeah, they've been very busy in Washington. I thought they were just hanging out waiting for the 100 days speech to Congress, but no.
They've been working.
They've been working. There was a new bill submitted to the Senate which would allow 401k plans, 403b plans, simple plans, and 457 plans to allow the sponsor to make matching contributions on student loan payments. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not new, and they don't need legislation.
It's a new bill.
I understand that, which they don't need.
Well, it's a new bill in Senate.
Okay, fine.
They had another bill in the House. So it makes sense. These guys are going to be paying off these bills for 20 years, and they won't be able to save. They need something.
Right.
So
And isn't there some legislation to pay off the
yes,
student loans?
Well,
that's
I was going to say,
second thing.
we're passing a bill for something that's
So
going
we
to
don't
be...
need the bill because the law currently allows for this, and it does. And the White House is, or somebody's trying to come up with a plan to pay off student loans anyways.
Bernie has submitted a new bill that would it's free college for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's still
Doesn't
things
say anything about the old bills.
Okay.
Just the new bills. And
Okay.
unfortunately, the way he wants to pay for this is a transaction tax on every financial transaction. So where do you think most of the financial transactions take place?
A lot, well, I don't know about most, but there's a lot in retirement plans.
That's right.
Okay.
So they're going to be stuck. Poor college students can't win either way.
Okay.
The IRS has updated their Q&As on the coronavirus relief, and it's really nothing new.
Are you talking about the COVID-related distributions and loans from last
Yes.
year?
And the partial plan termination. They
Okay.
added
Yep.
Q&As on that.
Okay.
And there were no real surprises except that the partial plan termination would apply to 2 plan years and not just one. Because we were thinking it was from 3/13 to 3/31 of 2021.
Right.
Well, if you have any part of a year in that period, it applies to each of them. Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly
So
how
for
that
the
would...
December 2020 and December 2021 plan.
Exactly.
Which is most of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And also, we had already talked about the final ruling on the financial factors in selecting plan investments and the fact that the DOL will not be enforcing that rule.
Right.
Well, it appears that many plan fiduciaries have been complaining about it, and that they're just not sure what their liabilities would be if it were enforced. And so the DOL is going to take a step back and look at it and try to get
Rid of it.
change it.
Okay.
And they're also looking at revising all of the prohibited transaction exemptions.
Oh, they're going to be busy.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're going to earn their money.
All right. Well, thank you, Kristina. This is sometimes the best part of the video for me because I learn a lot of stuff. Thank you, Kristina.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Make sure you like us, Christopher.
Yeah. Thank you. Catherine, we covered this topic a year ago.
Yes.
But
Still relevant.
it's still relevant. A year has gone by, and I thought we'd come back and refresh ourselves on it. And we are going to be talking about why we think, and we hope you do too, why we think 401k plans rock. And if I understand correctly, you've got a list of questions for me, correct?
Absolutely. So, Christopher, what do you think the most powerful thing is of a 401k plan?
Well, that they are applicable for small and large employers alike. As far as I understand it, the largest civilian employer in the United States is Walmart. They have a 401k plan with 1.6 million people in it, and many of the rules that apply to that plan apply to, well, like the people who clean our office, a one-person plan. All right, that's one person. All right, it's still a 401k plan, but it's flexible enough to cover one person to 1.6 million people. I thought that was pretty strong.
Okay. Any other amazing things about that?
Well, not so much about that, but that some of the other important benefits of a 401k plan that participants get is that an employee who's in a 401k plan who's putting away what they think is all they can afford, maybe that's just $5 or $6 a week, they're paying for, they have the same fund costs as somebody putting in $19,500 a year. They've got the same fund selection for the same cost, and I think that's a very powerful thing inside a 401k plan.
Well, very good. Why do 401k plans, why do they work better than other plans?
Well, I think they've got, it's not so much that they work better, but that they're more well known. They have, for employers who are trying to attract new staff, all right, you're always seeing signs, or excuse me, because I'm in the industry, I always see them. You see signs saying, we have a 401k plan. I have yet to see a sign at a potential employer saying, we got a simple IRA, okay? And I think I said that in last year's video. It just doesn't happen.
And you'd call that the halo effect.
That's the halo effect,
401k
exactly.
plans really seem like a benefit.
Correct, right.
In a common vernacular. What has changed the most and what has stayed the same in 401k plans? It's funny to ask this question now. When we asked it before, not much had changed.
Well,
Pour yourself a scotch.
Oh, bourbon or bourbon, whatever.
Well,
So there we go.
that's the second course.
So I'm looking at this more in terms of over the 30 some odd years that I've been in it. One of the things that's changed the most is how much more important the online record keepers are. When I started doing this in 1990, the firm I was working with, if there were record keepers, we didn't know about them. We were doing quarterly reconciliations, all right? And now we've got all these millions and millions of participants on online record keepers like American Funds, Principal, John Hancock, Voya, One America,
T. Rowe Price.
T. Rowe Price, lots of funds like that. And one of the things that's changed about that is not only are more people going on, but now it's really important from a cybersecurity point of view that the participants log on and identify themselves and change their password. There were a few years ago when only about 2% of participants ever even went online. The other thing that stayed the same is, while we keep talking about fiduciary rules and responsibilities and things like that, there's not really a lot that's changed since 1974. We talk about things a little bit differently, but the responsibility of the employer to have the plan for the benefit of everybody, that's still really the same.
Good. So what's the best question you've been asked recently, either by a plan sponsor or an advisor?
That I've been asked?
That you've been asked.
Can I do this for last year? And it's, that's...
No good questions this year? The best ones
No. They're asking, the questions they've asking me is, can they do this for last year? Okay. And we didn't have that last year. All right. So now you can't start a 401k plan for 2020, but you can start a 401k profit sharing plan now that will give you a profit sharing contribution for last year. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good. All right.
So when do you feel the most useful to an advisor or a client?
When I have an opportunity to present a solution to them that they either thought was not possible or they'd been told by lesser mortals that it wasn't possible. Hey, we're going to talk ourselves up, right?
If you had a magic wand and you could make a change to plans, what would you do?
Right now, it would be that you could notify participants for all their mandatory notices and things like that with a text. All right. I mean, yes, I know. I think it's theoretically possible, but come on. All right, or maybe even TikTok. Okay, if you could. Look at Filippo. Yeah. If I handed you out, if we were handing out safe harbor notices in a TikTok,
oh yeah,
you would pay attention to it.
I would, because it'd be a minute long.
Would be. Well,
but we would have to up our game.
There would have to be a little Beyonce dance to go with it.
Just a little bit, yeah. But even
and the words you didn't understand.
Texting things to people, I think, would be a massive improvement. So.
I think there's the technology to do it. It's
We're
just the
really
willingness.
close. We're really close.
Yes,
Yep.
some people are still paying for their texts, though.
Yeah. Well, they got a 401k plan, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what parts of a plan lend themselves to automation, and what parts don't?
The part that lends themselves to automation is the people who get the biggest benefits from economies of scale are the record keepers. All right, the people with billions of dollars, with millions of participants, with tens or hundreds of millions of transactions, that really benefits from automation and from economies of scale. Something that doesn't really benefit from it that much is reviewing a 401k test. All right, while we can still not automatically, but get a payroll feed from the payroll vendor and things like that. There's a lot of things that we can do to reduce manual labor.
Which is efficiency versus
Which is efficiency. You still
automation.
need to, we still need to actually review the work that's being done, the test results.
There's still a role for human
There
beings.
is still a role for us. Artificial intelligence has not yet made us redundant. So, all right. What do you think the three key takeaways from this little conversation are?
Well, I know one thing that you like to feature is that plans can be set up without there being an employer contribution.
Correct. I really like that because a lot of times people come with, no, I only do what's cheapest. I only do simple IRAs. Well, okay, you can't do a simple IRA or a simple 401k without a required employer contribution. You can set up a 401k plan and not have a required employer contribution.
And that's part of the flexibility of 401k
That's part
plans.
of the flexibility, exactly.
Another huge thing is the Roth,
Oh my
right?
God, yes,
And
absolutely.
The
Yes.
Roth.
The Roth.
The Roth. Because you can't do the Roth other places, right?
You can't. Well, no, a lot of places the Roth has a compensation.
That's my Beyonce
That's your
dance. We're going to figure out the Roth.
The Roth has a compensation limit, and plan. It's theoretically possible to convert pre-tax contributions to Roth, things like that. There's a lot of things that can be done inside a 401k plan with Roth. Very powerful.
But the important thing about it too is it's amazing for younger
Oh my
workers because goodness, your the tax you're paying now is not that much, and so you might think it is, but it's not that much, and the earnings over lifetime.
With the current with the current payroll tax federal tax structure, a lot of people aren't paying any federal income tax right now. They should be doing Roth because they're not really pre-taxing anything. So
Right.
yeah, that's a very powerful thing.
Right. So 401k plans, huge tool to reduce the retirement gap.
Obviously we're big advocates of that. 401k plans can be used to help reduce the retirement gap that's still a problem in our country.
Gap?
Right?
What gap?
Yeah. Not old baby, the gap. Okay? So, all right. Well, all right. So, if you have any questions about why we think 401k plans rock, or you want to argue with me, please email us. No, that's fine. That's what we're here for. Email us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. The website is hunterbenefits.com. And what are they supposed to do with their comments?
Make them positive and
Well-
huge and attach them to
Well,
the video.
like, share, and all that other stuff. All right. Did we miss anything, Filippo?
No.
Are we
not at
good?
all. Yeah.
All right. So
Thank
everybody
you for
have.
spending your time with us.
Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.